Derek, I know an exciting year on deck for Maryville football. Y'all were so close to kind of getting back to that state championship level a year ago. What lessons do you think your team took into the offseason from that?
You know, I think one of the lessons that we learned was we could still do this. Like, we're really close, you know. And obviously there's guys on our coaching staff that have done it a lot and still the same staff. And, you know, that experience is still there. We can still do it. Tennessee football has gotten so good so fast. You know, I remember growing up thinking, you know, you look at the talent in this area. When I was in high school, there might have been 2 or 3 kids Division I football, and now there's like 30. You know, it's crazy. Everybody's gotten so good so fast. But going into this offseason, you know, we were so close last year, and peaked at the right time. And we were just playing really good football in the postseason, and had plenty of chances in that Oakland game. Oakland's Oakland; they're a phenomenal football team. But you know, we're close. I really think we're close to being able to do this.
This year, the schedule I know is going to be challenging once again, and to have Alcoa Game 1, how different is that for you guys?
You know, for me, that's what I grew up used to.
Right.
I'll never forget. My dad dropped me off at Maryville Alcoa game week 1 super early when the gates opened. I just couldn't wait, you know, and playing in that game week 1. So in the last 8 to 10 years, it moved around a little bit, but having it back at week 1 is, I think, super exciting. You know, it's still one of those games where the community shut down and go support their teams. And so, you know, there's so much that goes into that game, even outside of football, with the schools and pep rallies and, you know, the fundraising that competitions between the 2 schools. And so it'll be nice to play that huge game and then be able to move on and get ready for your region stuff, because as big as a game it is and everybody circles it and wants to win it, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean a whole lot in the region's seedings and stuff like that. So that'll be nice, and I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you know, we'll get to test ourselves early. There's no bigger test than Alcoa, and we'll learn a lot about our team, and hopefully it'll make us better.
Last year, you had a preseason scrimmage against Oak Ridge. Now they're in 6A football and right there on the tail end of your season.
Yeah.
To have their history and Maryville's history kind of all together, it's kind of fire up the juices a little bit right there late in the year.
There's no doubt. You know, we've scrimmaged them quite a bit the last 5 to 10 years, and I love going, you know, to their stadium and going against those guys. And no matter who the coach is there or who they've got, you know, you can feel the tradition for sure. You know, I have so much respect for Derek Rang and Joe Gaddis and those guys. And so to get to play them and to be in the same region now, and we've been trying to get this game for a while, and I think there's a lot of folks in this area who will love to see it.
Mm-hmm. Will Jones, I know we've talked about him quite a bit, and just kind of where he is as a quarterback, and just going into his junior year, just where is he on the whole career arc, timeline of things of what you want to see in like your veteran quarterback?
You know, Will's 17 going on 30. You know, really, he's such a cool customer. He's very confident in all the right ways. You know, super competitive. You know, Will was raised right. He just understands it. He gets it. We had the blessing of coaching his 2 older brothers, and so he understands it. Now that he's a junior, it feels like he's been there for 5 years already. Mm-hmm. But when you get to play in so many big games as a freshman and sophomore and make big plays in those big games, you know, that experience is invaluable. You really can't coach that. You just got to have it. Mm-hmm. But he had a fantastic sophomore year, and the progression this year has been now he really understands what we're trying to accomplish on offense, and he can start helping 10 guys around him instead of, you know, I think he's comfortable in his own skin now.
Maryville doesn't change the blueprint much, whether it's offensive schemes or something. I'm sure y'all make slight changes here and there, but is there anything new with the program this year, things that a casual fan might see or experience?
That's a great question. Probably not the casual fan, I wouldn't say. We certainly try to stay ahead of the curve schematically every single year. But the biggest thing in high school is you got to become who your players are. You know, and we believe in development at Maryville, and numbers matter to us, and we're trying to develop as many really good football players as we can, because it's not like in college where you can go recruit who you want, to fit your scheme. So we'll adjust to who we've got year in, year out, whether we, throw it a little bit more, run a little bit more, or whatever the case may be. Same thing on defense, how you line up. I don't think to the casual fan you'll see many differences. I think going into last year we realized, to be able to make adjustments and make changes sooner in the year is going to be beneficial, because then you can be playing your best football later in the year. And so every year we try to figure out what we're good at, and sometimes you don't know that until you get in there and play the Alcoas of the world and teams like that. But be able to make adjustments and give our kids the best chance to be successful is the goal.